You're welcome to today's news on the KBJ Business Journal. My name is Rahel Uredo Upuku. Please stay tuned. In our first story, Ghana's Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has presented the 2024 budget statement and economic policy in Parliament. This presentation outlines strategies for revenue generation and policies to address current economic challenges. He also disclosed that government is working with the Ghana Revenue Authority to implement 8 tax relief measures to lighten the tax burden on businesses and the citizenry. They include the extension of zero rate of VAT on locally manufactured African prints for 2 years, waive import duties on the import of electric vehicles for public transportation for a period of 8 years, a zero-rate VAT on locally produced sanitary parts, including import duty waivers for raw materials for the local manufacture of sanitary parts, also a grant exemption on the importation of agricultural machinery equipment, and a VAT flat rate of 5% to replace the 15% standard VAT rate on all commercial properties will be introduced. The minister stated that the approach to tax policy since 2017 was to give significant relief to the private sector until expenditure pressures from 2020 required a more aggressive approach. Now, the UK Supreme Court has ruled that the asylum argument to send refugees to Rwanda was illegal. The court stated that there is a likelihood the refugees transported to Rwanda may be repatriated to the countries from which they fled, subjecting them to even more harsh treatment. In April, Britain and Rwanda signed the deal to send migrants who arrived in the UK as stowaways or in boat to Rwanda, where the asylum claim would be processed, and if successful, they would stay. The Britain government argued that the policy was in the interest of the country, as it would deter migrants from risking their lives crossing via these boats into the country, as well as break the business model of people smuggling gangs. In June, a UK High Court of Appeal declared that Rwanda is not a safe third country for asylum seekers because of flaws in its asylum procedures, overturning a previous ruling that declared it to be safe. Rwanda stated that it is still committed to carrying out the Memorandum of Understanding that was agreed last year. In our next story, Ghana began hosting the Accra Reparations Conference taking place between November 14 and 17. The Pan-African Conference, organized on the theme Building a United Front to Advance the Cause of Justice and the Payment of Reparations to Africans, is bringing together head of states and governments from Africa and the diaspora. The conference aims to foster dialogue, knowledge exchange, and strategies addressing past and present wrongs stemming from the slave trade, colonialism, apartheid, neocolonialism, and neoliberalism. Hosted by the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, who has routinely called for reparations for colonization and slavery, the primary focus includes advocating for reparations and exploring effective strategies for achieving them, as well as helping to break the cycle of impoverishment in Africa. Delivering an address at the opening of the summit, Nana Akufo-Addo reiterated that a call for reparations is not a plea for arms, but a valid demand for justice, saying that if reparations can rightfully be paid to victims and descendants of the victims of the Holocaust, so can reparations also be paid to the descendants of the victims of the slave trade.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel KBJ Business Journal TV and press the notification bell to stay updated always.